Hi guys, my name is Vijay Vaka. I'm working as senior solution consultant in NEP0. So in this session, let us discuss about XA transactions and transaction management in Mule4. Okay. So before you go through this session, I request you to go through this transaction management video I have done on the local transactions. Okay. Yeah. So that is a prerequisite for this. Yeah. So what does it mean by XA? XA means extended architecture. Okay, so as we have discussed in the previous session, I mean when we make a Triscope as a local transaction, okay, local transaction type here, okay, so it accepts only one configuration, right? It accepts only one configuration from an operation which supports the transaction. Okay, but if your requirement is to incorporate multiple transaction supported connectors, okay, into this Triscope or into a transaction, so in that case you have to go with XA transactions, transaction type XA. Okay, that is the first. I mean that is where we'll use this XA transaction. Okay, okay. So, yeah, let's just go through the documentation. So we know, right, that if you use a local, uh, it is like we'll get better performance actually, right? But when you use XA, we'll get reliability, but not the performance. Okay, so based upon the requirement, based upon the priority, we have to choose the transaction type. Okay, so just go through this. They have given a lot of theory here. Okay, so with exit transactions, we'll get reliability. Okay, for example, um, if all of a sudden the system crashes in between the transaction, okay, so this exit transaction will get the help or backup of this Bytronix transaction manager. Okay, so with the help of this, we can recover the transaction's previous state. Okay, or the current state at what the failure has occurred. So this will recover that particular state and it will commence ahead actually once the restarting of the application or the server is done. Okay, yeah. So um, this is about exit transactions. So we'll get reliability but not the performance, and also we can uh, add multiple connector configurations where you require multiple um, transaction behaviors from different connectors. Okay, so yeah, so from this is published, right? So it supports transactions. Okay, so you see here in general we have VM configuration. Okay, but in the advanced section it is join if possible. Okay, and here it is a database. It also supports transaction, and in advanced it is like join if possible. So within this we have two different configurations, right? I mean, if you keep this outside as well, it will work. Okay, and also in local transactions, we cannot have a feature like nested transactions, but with exit transactions, we can have nested transactions. Okay, that is one more advantage. Okay, so if you see here, I have chosen transaction type as XA. Okay, and also inside the exit transaction, I'm using one more local transaction type. Okay, so we'll see this example. Okay, so performance considerations. Yeah, so as this has more, it is more promising towards the reliability. It has to take care of a lot of consideration. So that is the reason performance issues will be there. Yeah. So Yeah, so we'll be also getting a feature like nested transactions. Yeah, so if you go to Bytronix transaction manager, okay, so we can use this in the mule domain environment as well, or for a single application as well. Yeah, so allows if you see here, Bytronix transaction manager allows mule to automatically recover interrupted transactions on restart. Okay, so this is very light about Bytronix transaction manager. And also by default there is no configuration for this for us to do. If you click on edit, see Bytronix transaction manager, there is nothing here to configure. Okay, so but still this can be modified. Okay, this can be customized in the wrapper.conf file in this path. Okay, in the server level, or even we can modify it in the local. Okay, but as per the documentation, or yeah, so it was mentioned somewhere in the documentation that 99% of the time we need not modify this thing. Okay, so yeah, if you see here, mule includes a transaction recovery procedure that is executed automatically. No configuration is needed. So when mule restarts after a system crash, it connects to all of the resources involved in the XA transactions and starts the transaction recovery process, leaving all the systems in a consistent state. So this is a bit about XA transactions, and I mean the backup that XA transactions get from the Bytronix transaction manager. Okay, so let us jump into the demo. So I have created this application. I just mocked the previous application which I demoed for local transactions. Okay, so here I'm printing the payload, and the same thing, we are converting the JSON to CSV, and we are printing that. Okay, and you see here, uh, here I'm using the try block, right? So at this level, uh, the transactional action is always begin, right? And you see the transaction type is XA, extended architecture one. Okay, so which supports multiple um, configurations from different uh, what do you say, operations which support transactions. Yeah, so here I'm inserting the data into the employees. Okay, this we already discussed the same thing. Okay, here what I'm doing, I'm updating a particular employee ID's city value every time. Okay, so only for a particular employee ID, that is 1001, I'm updating the city every time this transaction happens. And after that, I'm selecting everything. I mean, I'm doing a select star from employees. Okay, so which will retrieve all the records in that table. And after this, I'm converting it to CSV. Okay, now here you see I have configured one more try scope, but for that I have assigned the transaction nature, that is with this begin or join. Okay, so it is like if the transaction is already happening, okay, it will join the transaction. If not, it will begin the transaction. Okay, yeah. So publish. So whatever we have converted the select result into CSV, that is what I am trying to publish onto a queue called as sample queue. Okay, and you see here intentionally, I mean, I have put something like raise error, so which will raise an error for surely. The type is hello dot it's custom error. I mean, yeah, it is custom error. So description is it is a custom error. Okay, we don't have anything in the error handling. Okay, so what happens? This particular scope will result into an issue, an error, and that will be propagated to this particular triscope or this transaction. Okay, transaction inside we have one more transaction, but maybe if we can consider this as a child transaction, this is resulting into an error. So at a high level, it's an error within this parent transaction, right? So that is why the rollback will happen. Okay, so whatever we insert here, it will be, um, I mean, rolled back. What do you see here? In the update, in the advanced section, I have set it as not supported. So that means this will be excluded from the tran from this transaction. So though it is inside the transaction, it is not part of the transactional behavior, something like that. Okay. So in that case, what happens? This thing will be rolled back, and also whatever we are pushing onto the queue will be removed or rolled back. Okay. But whatever the update we are doing to this particular employee ID every time, that will not be rolled back. So this is our expectation as per the configuration. Okay. And you see, at last I'm printing the payload. So this is nothing but the converted CSV file only, because on this publish there is nothing like it will have some result at the end. It will just fire it and just forget it. That's it. Okay. So, and at last I have kept something like end of transaction. This is about this flow. Okay. And you see, I have configured this flow just to listen the messages that are being published by this publish connector. Okay. Publish operation. Okay. So if you see here, in the previous session we discussed it, right, that we can have I mean, this we can have the transactional types actually, like XA or um, what is that? XA or this local, right? So these things we can have on the listeners as well, right? So this is one of the listener actually. So we have this option like transaction type is local or XA, and we have transactional action as well. That is always begin or none. This we have seen a bit in the previous session. Okay. Now if you see here, I have configured it as always begin. So what happens? This whole thing will become one transaction. I mean, not only this thing and this thing. Okay. All these things will be part of transaction. Okay. Yeah. So Uh, yeah, we have by doing this setting like from none is the default, right? I have changed it to always begin. So that means this particular flow has acquired transactional behavior. Okay, so it is a local transaction because for this flow we don't require to configure anything else, right? I'm just printing the converted CSV payload. I mean, I'm converting it to JSON simply. Okay, and that is what I'm printing here. So these two definitely will not support transactions, and we don't require any other configuration other than this one, right? So that's why I have kept it as local. Okay, so this is all about the flow. Now it's already deployed and it was running in the debug mode. You ignore these things. It is giving some warning. So I'm clearing this. Okay, so yeah, let me send the sample request. You see here I'm using the employees table only. So previously we were using two tables, so I have removed one of them just to make things simpler. Yeah, insert into employees. We are inserting all these things: employee ID, gender, city, area, pin. Okay, and I mean we are passing the values parameter to this value section from this input parameters this way. Okay, so this is a very simple example. You can practice it. Okay. So let me go to console, clear this. Now let me send this request. If you see here, the path of this HTTP listener is XA. Okay, so I'm going, and you see the city is Hyderabad. Let me put it as something like Telangana for now, just to uh, yeah. So everything is accurate. It is a good payload. Now let me send the request. I'm sending the request. It is already deployed and running in the debug mode. Let me click on yes. So yeah, you see here these things we know, right? Just ignore about these warnings. Yeah. So this is the input payload from this logger, and once it is converted to CSV, that is what we are getting as a response or outcome from this logger. Okay. So till here it is clear. Fine. Now let me click on next. So yeah, it has inserted that record. Okay, let us check that. So I have truncated the previous data. So if you see, nothing is there till here. Now we just did the insert operation, right? So if you click on this, yeah, it is inserted. I mean, it is not yet committed the changes. Okay, it is still in the uncommit phase only. Okay, so let me click on next. Now you see, uh, one second, guys. Yeah, hi guys. So, uh, what what is the mistake I'm doing here is that I'm trying to update a record which is not yet committed. So that is the reason. Uh, I mean, it is failing. Okay, so we'll do one thing. Okay, we'll delete this, and next time we'll add this. Okay, so we'll understand actually. Yeah, so that is required, and I want you to understand something. Okay, so let me copy these values. So as I am trying to update the thing which is not even committed, so that is the reason it is failing. Okay, that is the reason we could see some abnormal behavior from this debugger. Okay, so yeah, now let us first of all try to let me also remove this. Okay, and we'll see one by one. Okay, so let me debug this. Okay, it got deployed in the debug mode. Okay, so I'm clearing the console. Now it is the flow has been reduced. Okay, we are just inserting, we are selecting the rows. Okay, and we are converting it to CSV, and that is what we are publishing onto the queue. Okay, so this is the scenario. Now let me send the request once again. Okay, so click on next. Okay, you see, will not see any issues. Okay, because the flow is with respect to the configuration, it is good. See, now that it is done with the transaction, this flow, and you see the control has come to this flow because we are publishing the same data here, right? Okay, so that is the reason we got the control to this transform message, and you see, yeah, so this is the record which we got from the database. I mean, as a result of select operation. Okay, now let me click on next. Okay, click next. You see here, so this we are converting it to JSON, right? So that is the reason we could see this has an input, I mean, an output from this logger. Okay, and in the console, I mean, in the Postman response section, we'll see this only, right? Because this is the flow where we have the HTTP listener. So whatever is the payload, uh, I mean, we could set as in the last phase of this particular flow. That is what we are sending as a response to the Postman response section. Okay, so it is a CSV, right? Okay, so that is the reason we could see the CSV here. Okay, now you see in the database table, if I execute this, we see that the one record got created. Okay, now let us try to add the things which we have deleted. That is update. Okay, and before select, now let me copy these things which I took as a backup. So go to this mode, design mode, and copy paste this here, and this is the parameter which we are sending, right? City is the parameter which we are sending. Okay, enable this. Yeah, and also now uh, let's also add this. Yeah, first let us execute this. Okay, if you see here, I'll be sending the data or the employee information with ID as 1001002, and the city as something like Chennai. Okay, for example, just like that. So what happens now? It will update the employee. Uh, yeah, employee. Uh, the this record with Chennai. Okay, and here this thing will select the two records and it will convert to CSV. Okay, I think we didn't select the configuration. Fine. Yeah, this get deployed in 30 seconds, no issues. Yeah, so let me quickly send that request once it is deployed. Yeah, it got deployed. So it is 1002 and city is Chennai. So I mean, when we send this request, it will update the first records information or the city to Chennai. Okay, that is the expectation. And also it will create one more record, right? So let me send this request once again. So click on as. Okay, so just click on next. Yeah. Okay, so go to console. Now you see it has retrieved two records, right? One is the previous one, employee ID 1001. Now it is 1002, right? If you go to this, click on this, you see two things are there, right? And you see the the city previously it was Hyderabad. Now we have updated it to Chennai. Okay, so these two are like success scenarios, or yeah, the scenarios which will not result into an issue. Okay, now let us try to raise an error within this thing. So go pick the raise error, add it to this particular transaction. So yeah, I think I have removed it. Fine, let's create that. So I'll keep something like hello, custom error. Okay, so it's a custom error. Okay, so now what will happen? So after this publish uh, is done with its publishing, okay, we are raising the error, right? So what will happen? This will result into an issue. It will roll back actually, okay, and that will be propagated to the parent transaction as an error. So what will happen? It will roll back the records which we have inserted newly into the uh, database. Okay, so let me try to send this with 3, and I'll put it as Bangalore. Okay, so that means the first record will get updated to Bangalore, right? I mean the city. Okay, so let me click on send. So click on S. Okay, so let me click on next. Yeah, you see here. Now let us observe these things. You see here, the first employee city got changed to Bangalore because we have said that, and also it has created third record this way. Okay, where the employee ID is 1003. Now, um, I mean, we are retrieving that information, and if you click next, so we are trying to publish it, the converted CSV, and if you see here, it is rise error, right? So it will throw an error. Okay, so it is a custom error. That is the description of that error. Click next. Now you see here, this transaction has resulted into an error, right? Now, so that means it at this level it's an error. So that means it's an error in the parent transaction as well, right? So click on next. Now you see here, this is what. If you see here in the in this database, okay, so these are the previous entries, right? Okay, now I'm just clicking on this. Now if you see, okay, now if you see what happened, it has rolled back. One is it has removed this 1003, this entry, and also it has reverted the change of this particular city value to this 1001 record. Okay, now, so this is what. So it has raised an error in the nested transaction. Okay, and the error has propagated to the parent one. Okay, so that is the reason. Okay, the changes what we have done in the parent level transaction as well. Okay, they were reverted back. Okay, now you see, initially I have put it as something like not supported, right? So when I have added it back, I didn't change it to not supported. That is the reason we missed something. So we'll see that. Okay, now this is the only difference. Okay, so let me send the same data because it was anyway rolled back, right? So let me click on send. Now if you see, so yeah, if you see here, go here, let me refresh this. You see, previously it yeah, I mean, now we are previously it was Chennai, right? Now it got updated to Bangalore, and also this thing, we could see the third record, right? Now let me click on next. Next, so here is where we'll see the issue. Now let me close this. Now let me take the snap of this, okay, just to compare. Okay, yeah, so I took the updated data, snap of the updated data. Now you see here it is an error. Okay, click next. So it, so this transaction has resulted into an error. So click next. So it's an error at this transaction as well. Click next. So now you see here, what is our expectation? Our expectation is something like this has to be removed. That is fine. And also previously, as per the previous setting of this particular update, it is updating, it is reverting it to the previous state of this particular city value for the employee 1001. Now what happens, as I have configured it as not supported, we'll see, now we'll understand what is the impact of that. Okay, so let me execute this. Okay, yes, if you see here, okay, this particular thing was not reverted, right, or rolled back, but you see this particular 1003 record was removed, but not the this update. This was not updated to Chennai, right? Previously it was Chennai. Okay, so so not supported in the sense it will not come in the transaction, right? So when you do the rollback as well, this particular thing will not roll back its changes. For example, in order to see this once again, now let us update this to, let's say, like Delhi, for example. Okay, this is not there right in the database, so let me click on send. Now let's do this little quickly. Okay, so yeah, we'll see an issue here. Okay, now if you see the database, just refresh this once again. Okay, see, the city got updated to Delhi, right? And also we could see third row. So let me click on next once again. Now you see city will be still will be like Delhi only, but the record will be deleted. Third record, third employee information will be deleted. Okay, see. So because it is not supported, it won't. be involved in the rollback of the its execution, actually its previous execution. Okay, so this is about this not supported transactional action. It's yeah, so that is one thing. And in order to skip these errors, okay, we can have that on error continue, right? This we all know. So whoever has basic understanding of this error handling, they can do this. Okay, so I'm going to put something like go to logger configuration. Uh, it's an error in nested transaction, but it's a success response to parent transaction. Okay, so this is what I have kept. Now we'll see what will happen. Okay, so you know, like when it is resulting into an issue. Okay, so as we are acknowledging to this particular triscope itself, or to this transaction itself as a success scenario, now what will happen? Whatever we are converting to CSV, that will be shared to this listener. Okay, because it is not rolling back, right? Though the issue is coming, it is not rolling back the changes here, because we are sending a success acknowledgement to this scope itself, to this I mean to this transaction itself. Okay, let me send this. Okay, so just click next. Yeah, so yeah, so it's an error here. Click next, it will come to on error continue. See now, though it's not an error acknowledgement to this scope even, right? So that's the reason it has continued with its execution. Now we'll see it is this flow got invoked, right? Now you see uh, that converted CSV, again it got converted to JSON. Okay, 100102 and 03. And you see, um, I mean, though we have some issue in the nested transaction, or the transaction that is there inside this transaction, that because we have configured it as on error continue, the things were not rolled back. Okay, and what happened? Um, I mean, we did not send any error acknowledgement to this parent transaction, and that is the reason you see this time the third record will sustain in this database table. Okay, yeah. So this is all about XA transactions. Okay, and also where can we see these transactional actions or transaction types. We have discussed all these things in this session and also in the previous session. Okay, so this is very important one. And also yeah, one small thing I have forgotten to tell you, or I missed it, that is when you deal with the XA transactions. Okay, this thing you have to check if there is any option like this, like use XA transactions. So you have to check it actually. If not, it will throw an error. You can try that. So you have to check this. Okay, but this sort of setting or configuration is not there on the on this publish. Okay, so yeah, this is there on the database operation. And yeah, and also when you use XA transactions, you have to configure this for surely. It's not like you can delete this and work with XA transactions. That should be there in the global elements configuration. Okay, so yeah, this is all about XA transactions and also about the transaction management in Mule 4. Okay, yeah. Uh, Please subscribe to my channel and share in your network. Thank you so much for listening to my video. Thank you.